Happens all the time.
Tonight on the Super Important Show, the ship that saves you at sea, the toilet that saves you on land, and the Snoop cereal updates that make life worth living. I'm one of your hosts, Dustin Diodato, and joining me, as always, is my amazing co-host, Heather Jules Booth. Hello, Heather Jules Booth.
Hello.
And we're lucky enough tonight to be joined by our special guest, improviser, Megan Sugrue. And I will say before I bring up Megan's graphic, I honor whatever title somebody gives me, but I disagree with this one.
Megan Sugrue. Fine. I put it up just to fish for compliments. Thank you.
I adamantly disagree.
I also adamantly disagree. So your mission has succeeded.
Yes. Compliments.
Megan, tell everybody a little bit about who you are. What's your deal?
Well, I'm a mediocre improviser. I just happen to have found wonderful people to play with. But yeah, I improvise short form, long form. I like to laugh. By day, I'm a corporate marketing person. These views are my own and do not reflect those of my employer. Hashtag corporate safety. Lived in New York for over a decade and super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Very excited to have you. Let's, Heather, do you want to get us right into it? You want to get us into how crazy the world is?
I would love to. Yes, I would love to. The stories. All right, so world you crazy. First up top, I'm going to fully admit this. I have no idea how to pronounce this name. Right before this show, Dustin and Megan can tell you, I Googled it. That didn't help because I landed on, it's a Swedish word. I landed on a very nice Swedish man who told me 4 different ways to say this word. Anyway, here's the story. A sailing boat was rescued by the, I'm going to say, Gothenburg. It looks like Star Trek. It looks like the Borg, which I love because it's a Star Trek reference. So it says, imagine this story asks you to imagine that you're out to sea. It's like the Titanic and you have a distress call and the world's largest ocean-going wooden sailing ship comes to your rescue. It says that in the words of the sailors on the sailing boat, this moment was very strange and we wondered if we were dreaming. Where were we? What time period was it? I love that that's what they were thinking, and they weren't thinking like, am I going to live? Am I going to die? Will I be saved in time? No, they were like, where were we?
Right. Because here's the boat. Here's the boat. This is straight up Goonies right here. I'm assuming that the Goonies boat sailed off, and then it became this boat, right? Okay.
So I'm going to be very upfront about this. So I had no idea. I'm not a boater. So I had no idea that, I don't know. I guess I thought boats like this were still floating around in the sea. So when I first read this story, I was like, I don't understand. What's so strange about this? It's a really cool, badass boat. And then I was like, oh, because it's an old historical boat that doesn't really exist. So it's strange. It's like an old pirate ship coming to save you. But I absolutely was so confused at first because I was like, yeah, it's a really cool ship. I'm glad everyone got saved. It happened off the coast of France. There was a distress call. That was a sailing vessel lost its rudder and was drifting. And this Gothenburg was the closest ship. So it answered the call. Which, good on you, Gothenburg. If it had been the Titanic, you could have saved them. This was also in April, like the Titanic. So, don't sail in April, everybody. That's what we're learning.
That's our moral for this.
That's our moral of today's story.
Okay.
Maybe don't sail in April. Not a great time to sail. There's texts. Yeah, there's texts. And the texts they're like, we emphasized that we were aboard a small 8-meter sailboat, but the response was the same each time. We are a 50-meter 3-masted sailboat, and we offer our assistance in towing you to safety. It says we were perplexed by the size difference between our 2 boats, as we feared being towed by a boat that was too large and at too fast that speed would damage our boat.
I mean, couldn't they have just put the boat on the boat? I feel like at that point.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to do metric to feet in my head, and it wasn't working, but I feel like it could work.
Yes, yeah. I think that you could, in fact, just lift the boat and just be like, boat on boat, Boat on boat action.
Right. I mean, the other side I would be worried about if I were the small boat is if I'm being towed by the big boat and it's just like made of wood, I'd be afraid that the back of the boat would just fall off. Like they were worried about their boat breaking apart.
They were worried about their boat.
Their boat's metal.
Yeah.
Like their boat is, or fiberglass or whatever you want to call it. Like,
I guess this wood boat is like specifically constructed in such a way that they like knew that it would be okay.
Yeah. Sujatha is saying hi in the chat. Hello, Sujatha.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello,
Welcome into the chat.
Welcome to our boat story.
I think we're all officially
boat on boat
boaters
action.
now.
Yeah.
I think we are boaters now.
But now we're officially boaters.
Are we not? Doesn't that make us seamen? Isn't that the word for it?
God damn it, Dustin. That's such a... I'm angry I didn't think of that joke.
What's the word? It's right there.
It is right there, and I'm just mad that you got to it first.
Sorry. My bad.
No, don't be. Don't be. It's a good joke. It's there for the taking.
Joy's enjoying the hot boat on boat action. So
yeah, I mean, how could you not? Wood boat, metal boat. It's like Transformers.
True.
Yes, it is. It is true that it is. However, semen is funnier.
Yes. But we have to respect because that Japanese actually is a sailor. So he was in
hello.
Yeah, he was in the Navy, so he gets to he gets to pick.
Amazing. So you saw this headline and you immediately were like, "Oh yeah, that's really strange." And as I said, I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool. The boat's not
I mean,
it's super cool. This boat is cool. So cool looking.
Yeah.
I don't know why I censored myself. This boat's really cool looking.
Yeah, I'd be thrilled if that boat. I'd be thrilled if that boat showed up in a non-life-threatening situation.
Right? Yes.
And you might think, I forget if you said this, Heather, but like, did they think they had passed on into like another life? Or
I didn't say that, but you're
where
right.
They're like, oh my God, boats are different here. Is this what heaven is?
Yeah.
Right. Have I gone full on?
Yeah.
Boat heaven. Yeah. Boat heaven.
Have I gotten Pirates of the Caribbean? Like we've sunk, and now like the ghost ship is coming to get us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great start to a movie. I would watch that.
Yes.
That is actually, I would also watch it.
Anything else on this story, or are we ready to move on?
No, it was funny because this was actually a very sweet story ultimately, because it said that the people in the metal boat were, they were very grateful. They were very surprised. And they're just like, the big wooden boat was so professional and kind. And they were like, this was so lovely. So it's a real nice, feel-good story.
Yeah. I was debating when I was putting the stories together for this week. It was between this and a seagull competition where everybody had to screech like a seagull, and the best screecher won. And I thought that you would appreciate the wholesomeness of old-timey boat over screeching seagull.
I do appreciate the wholesomeness of old-timey boat. So thank you. You were correct.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's nice to sometimes, like the last couple of weeks, we started with, things that weren't...
Rage. Crazy things, not wholesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Megan, let's get into your toilet story.
This is so wholesome, you guys.
Yes.
Take that word how you want it. So you've heard of smartphones. You heard of smart watches. Have you heard of smart toilets?
No.
Well, the FDA just cleared a new medical device called the Heart Seat.
Mm-hmm.
Heart Seat makes me think of like a Care Bear name, or like maybe like one of those trolls. Like I feel like Heart Seat would be like a troll, but the heart isn't on the belly button, it's on the butt.
Very good.
But this is a toilet seat that will collect medical data on you. It will get your blood pressure, your oxygen levels, and one other thing.
All from your butt.
Heart rate, all from your butt. And it sends it to your healthcare team for constant monitoring. So let's get the wholesome part out of the way. I think this is lovely, for people who are sick or older. and someone needs to keep track of them. Everyone's got to poop. Everyone's got to pee. So you'll get the health signals. Now that that's done, this made me laugh so hard. As I said before, I'm a marketer during the day. And so I read through their press release. I looked at their Instagram account. I looked at other articles about it. And the way they describe it, like, hats off to the Kasana. The name of the company is called Kasana. Hats off to their marketing team. Their tagline is, "Just sit. We'll take it from here."
Awesome.
Okay.
I do want to
point. Oh, I was just going to say, they're very, like, deliberate in their choice of words. They're like, this is unobtrusive. You don't have to change anything. Like, I think they think, like, it's going to, like, jump out and, like, haha, I got your butt. They're very...
they covered all the bases.
Right. Covered your bases, covered
That's
your
good.
butt.
You know what? That's a good marketing team. They thought ahead to what potentially, like, clients and customers and, like, the public's reaction might be. That's smart. That's good.
Honestly, I have nothing but respect for the Kasana marketing team.
I have a question.
Yes.
So is it reading your literal, like, butt, like the skin on your butt, or is it reading what comes out of your butt?
I believe, Heather, it is the butt. Thank you so much for the question. This is something I also wondered.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it was like blood pressure, oxygen, which I don't know how you get that from a butt.
I don't either. I'm so curious. I have thoughts, but...
So, yeah, I think it comes from the butt, not the stuff.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite sentences I've ever said.
I check that off your bingo card. So I bet you expected to say that tonight.
But Sujatha in chat is against this.
Yeah, Sujatha says it's bad enough that phones, computers, and Fitbits are spying on us. This is too far.
Oh.
But Sujatha, don't worry, because according to their website, there's a secure connection. So only really, like, your medical professionals are seeing it.
I'm getting close to the screen so I can read this.
Guys,
okay. It's got an electrocardiogram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Guys,
it has weight sensors. It has
information
infrared
leaks.
lights.
Okay.
Yeah, no leaks.
Right. It's the toilet of the future, guys.
This is amazing. Sujatha is not convinced. Nope. She is not convinced.
If you are intrigued and go on Kasana's website, you could sign up for their in-home user experience study, and you will receive a $50 gift card for taking part in the study.
I mean,
no, I want to try it free, not for $50 off.
Well, I think they give it to you, and then you get $50. Like, you're pooping anyway. Like,
I don't know. I'd be curious.
You could also enter a raffle to win a $100 gift card. Again, the Kasana marketing team is the real hero of this story. They've done a great job.
I mean, cut to like a month from now, and we find out that Megan's working over at Kasana.
Right. We're like, oh, we never asked Megan where she works.
Yeah. This is my calling.
These views do not reflect my employer. Didn't say who that was. What if this was all just a plant? Like, I am
one
from
big
Kasana.
ad. Be amazing.
There's gonna be like my thing at the bottom that's like paid partnership with Kasana.
Right. And just to be clear, we're open to that. So if a smart toilet wants to get sponsored. Wants to sponsor us, we will take the money. Anyway, Jeff is asking if it does drug and alcohol testing.
It might.
Right.
I think it might. Although if it's only reading your butt, not the stuff. Right.
Yeah, I think there's a different toilet that does that. Actually, I think there is like a urine testing toilet, but that's not this one.
Wait, they should put that in doctors' offices too.
Yeah.
Right, so you don't have to
so
pee
much
in
better.
the thing.
Yeah.
Put it
No
in
stress.
the really gross locker thing.
No stress.
Pee
Just
everywhere. Yeah, that's a lot of stress.
Speaking of
also
which,
they could. Yeah.
okay. I was
Oh,
gonna
I was just going to say they could make it fun, like they make the cat litters now that are supposed to like light up or show like
Yes.
if your cat has illnesses, which I haven't tried, but be the same idea. You pee in a toilet, and then like if it lights up neon or something.
yeah, go to the doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They'll play a jingle for you on your way.
they will. They will.
The thing I was gonna say is I remember I went to a urologist and I had to do like the urine sample, and I got in there and it was basically like, like one like there was like a stall and a sink kind of situation that was in there, and there was nowhere in the stall that had a flat surface, like anywhere.
So where were you putting it?
Right, and I was like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Like it's the one. Like, has anybody ever tried to like? So you had to like
Right.
put it on the
Easy
floor,
testing.
and deal with everything else. I was like, there should be a ledge. There should be at least pick one of those toilets that's got like a top. But it was just I was so mad at this urologist for not giving me a
It's
place
definitely poor. That's poorly
Yeah.
designed.
And it was also like they didn't have that, like you were talking about, that little like closet where you put the urine in, and then like walk away. It was one of those like, no, hand it back to the lady at reception. And I was like, walk down a long hallway and hand it to the lady at reception. And I was like, I don't want to, like, no, like
That lady at reception doesn't want that either. Get
No.
a
No,
pee
she doesn't.
walker.
She doesn't.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how, like, you're a urologist. If you were any other doctor, I'd cut you some slack. But like, it's your whole gig is this thing.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
who that urologist could learn from? It's the Kasana market,
Yep.
Yes.
because
Sure
they've
could.
really done their homework.
Right.
And urologist doesn't sound like he did. Or she did.
Anything else you want to cover on the story before we move on?
Just thank
Stories-
you for this story, Dustin. What a gift. What a treat.
I am glad you enjoyed it. I'm very glad that you enjoyed it. All right,
Yeah.
which brings us to our third story. Now, our third story, okay, fans of the show will know that we have been following Snoop Loops from the beginning. From the announcement of Snoop Loops, we have been on board. We went to their website. We learned everything there is to know about Snoop Loops. For folks who are new, I'll do a quick explanation. Originally,
Thank you.
Snoop Dogg launched a cereal called Snoop Loops. And then, I would say probably about 4 months ago, Snoop Loops ceased to become a thing because Fruit Loops got very mad and said you can't call it that. So then it became Snoop Cereal, which is not as clever, but Joy very much enjoys it when I say Snoop Loops. So I still say it. So what happened was, so we went on their little website, and their website introduced us to a bunch of characters that are part of the Snoop Loops family. And they are specifically these guys right here. Of course, we have our star in the middle, Captain Ace. And then we have Mr. Polar Bear, who we think is part of their basketball team. We have Max. We have Hercules. And Moxie, I believe, is that last one? I can't...
Roxy.
Roxy. They make up... now, when it launched, we discovered that this collection of folks make up a basketball team in Doggytown. They are the number one basketball team in Doggytown. Captain Ace is described as the Kobe of doggy basketball in Doggytown. At that point, they also informed us that beyond just basketball, this is a group of special agents who are fighting crime, and they're like undercover special agents that
The K9 team.
the K9 team.
Yeah.
So through the power of Snoop cereal and these crazy watches that they all have, and we determined that yes, whoever was making this was very high. And I thought, okay, that's probably a lot for these dogs to do, that they're special agents who go undercover and fight crime, but they're also basketball players. Guess what, everybody?
Oh my God, what?
They have a new job. They are no longer just the K9 team. Now they are the K9 team an Air Force Special Agent pilot unit.
Not what I thought was going to happen. Wow.
Overachievers.
Yes. Now they are pilots, and Captain Ace, who wears his like bomber jacket, but keeps his uniform on the whole time.
This is insane.
Right. So as you can see, teamwork makes the dream work. When Captain Ace and his K9 team are not training, repairing helicopters and airplanes.
Yeah, you know, like you do, like every pilot does.
They're so busy.
Yeah. They like to play hoops and go undercover as secret spies with their cool spy gadgets. So they're basketball stars. They're also undercover agents, and they're also pilots. All part of the K9 team.
They're pilots and they repair their own helicopters and airplanes. These are such accomplished pups.
Right. And they all have different jobs, I think, as we can see. Clearly, Roxy appears to be a steward, a flight attendant type person. I'm going to guess based on the outfit. I can't tell exactly what I think Hercules is. It seems like Max is just like a repair person. And Captain Ace is clearly a pilot here, except as before, if your pilot rolled on the plane in shorts and a basketball jersey, would you still take that flight? Like, could you imagine a scenario where your pilot is wearing a basketball jersey and you're like, oh yeah, I trust it.
Wait, I like that this is what you're getting hung up on and not that it's a dog.
No,
I also just
because they're in Doggyland.
I need to applaud you, Justin, for committing these characters' names to memory. That was so impressive.
Thank you.
Just did that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean they're important. They're important characters. Now, okay. So, in addition to that, they added a music video. Yeah, they added a music video to the website, which obviously I'm going to play for you guys right now. It's repetitive, but it gives us a little bit more of an impression of their lives. It gets Mr. Polar Bear more involved than I thought he was going to be. So I think this should work.
So excited.
Here we go. Just having some cereal.
Yum, 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 yummy for the tummy.
So good.
Yum, 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 yummy for the tummy.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to do this for like a minute.
Oh my goodness gracious, Snoop cereal is the greatest. Yum, 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 yummy.
Here he is.
Oh, now it's gonna go pilot.
Yeah.
So good.
Yum, 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 yummy.
In like a 1930s airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Yum, 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 yummy for the tummy.
That hat's going to come right off.
Yum, 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 yummy for the tummy.
Not in Doggyland.
So good.
Oh my goodness gracious, Snoop cereal is the greatest. Yum, 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 yummy for the tummy.
Mr. Polar Bear.
So good.
Yum, 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 yummy.
Of course, now do a little like snowboarding, wearing his sneakers.
Snowboard too.
Yeah.
Yum, 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 yummy for the tummy.
He doesn't write a lot of lyrics, but he does snowboard.
No, it's a simple chorus.
He's not even hitting the drums.
Yeah.
Just hitting the air.
Right, he's hitting the cymbal, which is not in the song.
No, he's not even hitting the cymbal. It is
Yeah.
truly just the air.
Goodness gracious, Snoop cereal is the greatest.
Delicious.
So that's what we got.
What did I just watch? Which is wow.
I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy.
I don't understand how Snoop isn't like, what the fuck is that song? I am Snoop Dogg. Give me more lyrics. Let me
you
participate.
have like a very good musician there.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is fine.
Oh,
Yummy
if
in my okay.
If I know Snoop, and I think I know Snoop, I think he's delighted by that.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he
probably
is.
true.
It's a goddamn delight.
I mean, he has a whole kids music channel that one day we're going to play music from that has better songs than that, because he voices some of the characters on that. But in this case, it's just whoever is singing that. And like when I tried to find it on YouTube, because I had to just steal that from the website. It's not, that video isn't on YouTube. There's a version of it that's got an additional serial that's not on the website, but I couldn't read what it was. I think it was like Snoop Drizzles or something like that. So my point is there's a lot going on over at Snoop Loops that
they all got their pilot licenses. I mean, geez.
Because basketball, super secret agent, like
They snowboarded.
They snowboarding. Like there's a lot going on.
I think they might be the crew behind the Gothenburg too. That's what I'm going to say.
I think you're correct. I think they are.
And they sail old-timey boats to save people.
And Megan, just because I wasn't sure if I was clear in how they have the ability to do all this. It's a combination of Snoop Loops and a secret agent spy watch that gives them extra special powers. So that's why they have all this energy.
So it's like the smart
makes
toilet.
sense.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. They had a promotion on the website for a while that if you signed up for their mailing list, you could potentially win one of the watches, which I'm going to call bullshit on because I signed up for it like 30 times. And I did not win one, and I can't
and if
imagine.
anyone should win one, you should win one.
Right. Like the odds were ever in my favor when it came to winning one of these watches. I did not get so much as an email back, so I would argue that is bullshit.
However, Snoop Loops, if you're in the market to sponsor a live YouTube show, we would happily take that.
Yes. We will gladly.
Yeah.
We will very happily take your sponsorship. Because we'll get together. We'll eat it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's that's what's happening over at Snoop Cereal Land. You still can't order it. It's still not available in stores. But
That's crazy.
But they're updating it on a regular basis. There is an image now of Snoop like just in a hoodie on the website, being like, give him one of these, because that's kind of what his life is. A lot of like, I don't know how any of this is working. So one day we're gonna have Snoop Cereal on this show.
I can't wait.
There's no doubt in my mind that if it ever comes to market, we will eat it. Heather will come over, and whoever our guest is, hopefully Megan, will come over and eat cereal with us.
We're gonna dine, and it's gonna be great.
Wait, so you can't currently order the cereal?
Nope.
You cannot, no.
Nope.
Gosh. So you can sign up for their mailing list, and you can watch their music video, and you can read their origin stories, but you can't get the actual cereal?
Correct.
No. And you can't win a watch either.
Yeah. And like I said, we're probably, I mean, Heather, would you say we're probably like a good 8 months in the making on this?
I think so, because I think we started talking about this like last fall.
Yeah. So we've been tracking this for a while. It's a huge shame that it's not. I don't know how it's not been made available. I also don't understand who's updating the website with all this stuff and why they're updating it. If not just for us, I feel like it's just for us and fans of the show to find out what's going on. So
what a gift.
We'll see.
What a treat.
We'll take it.
Yeah. Which brings us then to the point where I try and shill for the show and say, please take a moment if you're watching to like and subscribe, or if you're watching it later, take a moment to like and subscribe. It lets people know that you're enjoying the content, and it lets people know that it's happening, because it'll give you a little thing that says, hey, the show's happening. So take that moment. It's down there somewhere. I don't know. I'm not good at spatial things, but you can, and you can even hit the little bell. Then it tells you exactly when we're going live. It's fun all around. And 646 guy is asking, so we don't know if it is yummy for them. It is.
Nope.
I mean,
but we don't know.
We
There's
don't
no
know.
proof.
Yeah, we don't know, but we're confident. Yeah. I don't think Snoop's gonna. I think Snoop's gonna come up with a cereal that's not yummy for the tummy.
Probably not, but
believing
he did approve that jingle.
He did. Probably. So. Who knows? Okay. Now that I'm talking amongst yourselves while I figure out how graphics work. Let me go to that. Let me go to that. And then finally, here we go. Yeah.
It is catchy. It's going to be in our heads all night. Yep.
Which brings us to What the Fact, where I will For those of you who are not familiar with this segment, I will ask these two wonderful ladies a series of trivia questions that they may or may not know the answers to. I will ask you at home as well to try and guess what you think the answer is to the question, and we'll see. We'll hopefully learn something, maybe laugh a little bit. So, Megan, I'm coming to you first, so just be ready. You ready? Okay.
Yes.
Ancient Romans used what? Which of the following things as toothpaste? Was it A, gelled cat lungs?
Ooh.
Was it B, liquefied goat hooves?
Ooh.
Or C, powdered mouse brains? One of those is something that the ancient Romans determined would make their mouth cleaner. Which one do you think that it is? And
Is this a trick question because they didn't care about oral health back in the Roman days?
no, they cared. They were just weird.
Wow.
It is not a trick question. It is one of these answers.
Wow.
Would you put any of these in your mouth?
I'm rereading to not jump to conclusions, but no. However, I do live in New York City, so it's possible I've ingested these just
Fair.
walking down Fifth Avenue. Wow. I am going to say, I'm also like, what did they use as a toothbrush? I have so many questions now. I just didn't think this was a thing. I'm going to say liquefied goat hooves.
Okay.
Goat feels like they were around, like I don't know how many people had cats. I'm going to not explain my reasoning because I can't put logic into this. Just the B, the goat hooves.
Okay, you're gonna go with B. 646 guy was saying earlier that he's put a lot of things in their mouth, but
have to think about this one. Yeah. I also think it's liquefied goat hooves.
Okay.
I don't know that cats were. I can't remember when cats actually came over and became part of the world. And I'm not. Oh no, they were in ancient Egypt, so I guess they'd be in ancient Rome.
Cleopatra had cats and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But they always posed for pictures and stuff, So I don't think they were taking their
Yeah,
lungs.
I just don't think I don't know. I don't think they'd look at a cat and be like, yeah, that seems like something that. First of all, I didn't know they were brushing their teeth back then. Truly, I thought that you just had teeth in your mouth and they rotted.
Right.
I feel like even in history, people knew mice were probably not the best.
Okay.
And as I say that, Brian is like, mouse brains, bank on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to go with liquefied goat hooves because I feel like goats were always a symbol of power and strength. And that maybe they thought if I use the hoof of a goat, it will make my teeth enamel strong. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay. It seems.
I'm very curious to see what the answer to this question is.
Okay, so it seems like we got a bunch of B's.
We do.
One very adamant C. Well, everybody, the very adamant C was correct. It is in fact powdered mouse brain.
Oh no! How did you know?
Yeah. I gotta think that it was expensive because you gotta track down a bunch of mice. You gotta take out their brains. You gotta powder their brains. That just feels like it's gonna be costly. Would you
thought of this idea and why?
I don't know.
I want to know the science behind it. Why?
Would you, given the choice of no toothpaste at all or powdered mouse brains, would either of you go with the powdered mouse brains or just sort of
Absolutely
I would just
not.
be like, well, there's my teeth. Bye.
I'd have street urchin teeth, and I would rock it.
Pointing out bubonic plague, mice were everywhere.
Mice were everywhere, right?
In a bad way, but they were.
I guess they didn't quite realize at that point, all the mouse. I am also thinking of mouse poop, which I know is bad for you. I don't really know what mouse brains do to you, but I still don't want to use powdered ones.
Okay. That's a very fair response. Question number 2. As we all know, pandas are dirty liars. So when in captivity, they will do things in an effort to get additional food.
So they're cats.
which of these things are things that a panda is known to do because they're dirty liars? Is it pretend to be multiple pandas so they can come back and get different food? Is it pretend to be pregnant so they're like, oh, I need more food because I'm pregnant? Or is it C, do that thing where they get other pandas to look away while they steal their food? Do one of those, look over theirs. Heather, I'm going to come to you first. Which
Dustin,
one of these are the traits?
Can it be more than one?
It could, but I don't know. I'm not going to tip you off on this one.
I think it might be both A and C.
Okay.
Because I feel like, I mean, A is like common, like cats would do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Tend to be multiple cats or just act like, what? Or no, cat's favorite thing is like one person comes home and they're like, please give me food. And then the second person who lives there comes home and they're like, please give me food. And you have to like communicate with your person like, no, the cat's lying. They had food already. So I'm saying pretend to be multiple pandas. But I also could see pandas being like, let's do a diversion. Oh my God, food. I don't think it's B because I don't know that pandas are going to have the same concept of pregnancy that like we as humans would put on it.
Okay.
Like, I don't know that they would be like, oh, this dumb human will think that because I'm pregnant, it will give me food. Like, I could see them biologically just because of their, like, the biology will just make them do that. But I don't think that's I'm going to go with A and C.
Okay. Megan, what are you thinking?
Do you have a video of the correct answer? I really hope
I don't.
you do.
I don't.
I also
I'm
want to see. Yeah,
I'm gonna look this up later. Let's just spread it out. I'm gonna say pretend to be pregnant. I'm gonna say they stick out their little bellies and are like, more food, please.
646 guy is doubling down again on B.
Pretend to be pregnant.
Yes.
So that's with you, Megan.
6 guy.
Yeah. And guess what, y'all? You should stick with him because it is pretend to be
God.
pregnant.
The one that I didn't think it was. Yep. Wow.
Yeah. Megan was right. That's what they supposedly that's what they do is they just like, oh, look at me. I need extra food.
And do they like stick their bellies out? And
I don't know. Like... I don't know exactly, but I'm sure they probably do.
And eating for two.
Touche, Brian. Touche. Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
Which brings us to our third question. This one feels like one that we should already know because we're all humans. So just know that. What are humans not capable of detecting? Is it if they're moving at a constant speed? Is it if something is wet? Or is it when trouble is cranked up?
Ooh.
Heather, I'm going to go to you first. Which of these things do you believe that humans are not capable of detecting?
I think it's the first one because I think that's when people get motion sick.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that something to do with like why people will feel motion sick? Because it sets the brain signals off. The brain is like the speed and the movement and the whatever doesn't all align. And also I just think about like, you know, like when you're in an airplane and you're like, you can't really conceptualize how it's moving. I don't understand how B would be the answer because I can absolutely tell if something's wet. And I personally can tell when treble is cranked up, it's a very unpleasant sound.
Okay.
Now, if it turns out that that's not what I'm hearing, then I can't wait to hear what I actually am hearing. But I feel like I can tell. So I'm going with A. Joy's going with B.
Joy's going with B.
What does 646 guy say?
That's right. I know. That's what we're all waiting for.
You gonna cheat?
Just being resourceful. It could be C because I know when you get to a certain frequency of sound, like you can't hear it. And if you have hearing loss, it gets harder. Like I was listening to Conan's podcast and they were playing sounds and they were like, when it stops, when you stop hearing it, that's like reflects the level of your hearing loss.
Yeah.
So I'll say C when the treble is cranked up.
Okay. All right. Which now?
As you were hearing wetness.
Yes. Okay. So 646. Now you can give an answer.
Now that the answer's locked in, is saying that it's B.
The answer is B. He's saying the answer is B. Now, I will say as a technically, I went with as the official answer all of them, although B is the most right.
Wow.
Because if humans,
646 guy.
yeah, if humans are moving, once humans will feel themselves get to a constant speed, but they won't feel themselves actually moving at a constant speed. And treble was probably written a little bit wrong, in the sense of you can't feel it, you can hear it, but you can't feel it. So that was my bad. But
Okay.
but the crucial one there is actually if something is wet. Humans have no sensors to determine if something is wet. They only figure out things are wet by virtue of putting pieces together that, oh, that thing must be wet because of X or Y. But if your hand was just in water and you didn't move it, and it wasn't like floating, the only reason you would know that your hand was in water was because it was floating, but you wouldn't feel necessarily that it was wet, a wet substance. That is, there are other animals with the ability to tell if something is wet. We are not one of them.
I think cats are definitely one of them.
They may very well be.
Wow. I did not. I learned that today. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was very heady. I need some Snoop Boots to
Right?
process that.
Right?
I'm afraid to do the show again in the future with 646 guy in the chat because I'm very impressed that you knew the answers to all those. Excellent job. And please be in the chat in the future. I'm just saying I'm very impressed that you know all the answers. So that is our What the Facts for today.
Brian throwing his ring in the... That's how you do it.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So that is that's our What the Facts for today, guys.
Wow.
Hopefully you all learned some stuff. I feel like we did because it was a really weird collection of questions.
It was.
So yeah, the wet, like truthfully, like when I was doing the research, the wet one came up first, and I was trying to figure out a way to like to back into it, like because it was like
I still can't believe that. That's crazy. Because I also hate the feeling of like things that are wet or like if my hands are wet. Like I don't like that feeling. So I'm very fascinated that that's. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out you're not feeling it. You're just figuring out that something's wet.
Yeah. It's wild.
All right. So that are we ready to get into Would You Rathers?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, Heather, take us away.
Would you rather have a large painting of yourself or a large sculpture of yourself? Either way, you have to display this clearly in your home. All right, Megan, I am going to come to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna for sure go with a painting. I would like to not be 3D. I would like to be 2D. Also, we have not specified the style of painting. Like,
Okay.
it could be a large painting of me, but it's like my essence, or it's like something abstract. It could be really cool. So yeah, I think a painting of me.
I'm gonna assume it's you petting a tiger. That's
A tiger?
yeah. That's the image I have. Is you just casually petting a tiger? I don't know why.
Only pet tigers casually.
Yeah.
Never with passion.
All right, Dustin, what would you go with?
I am torn because I have frequently told Joy that upon my death, I want my tombstone to be a statue of me with motion sensors in the eyes so that I'm always looking at you if you walk by.
All right, that's pretty great.
So there's a sculpture there, but I think I want to save the sculpture for death, and I think I'd rather have the painting currently. I guess to Megan's point, like if I could do it if I could do it in a more abstract way, I probably would do it in a more abstract way, or I would do it in a very, very ridiculous sort of,
Right.
like holding a sword with my shirt kind of open, like, riding a majestic horse. I think I would go like so over the top that it would be obvious parody. So I think I'm going to go with that. Also,
But me petting the tiger is totally serious. There's
Right.
no parody there. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
right. No, that's just, that is a photo of your essence.
Right.
Of you.
Thank you.
Like, yeah. But I also live in a New York City apartment, and the idea of having a sculpture, I already take up way too much room in my apartment. I don't need a second me taking up equally as much room. We wouldn't have any place for anything, and I would bang into it all the time. So I feel like I'm going to go with painting. What about you, Heather?
I'm like torn. I'll buy Sujatha. Sujatha's heading out.
Yeah,
I
bye.
am torn. I'm torn on this one, although I mostly know what I would pick. But I want to say this is like not weirdly gross as possible, but like I have a really nice butt, and I would kind of love it to be in a sculpture. Like, I'm gonna be really honest. Like, I would be okay with a sculpture of just like
So
just
you want
a nice butt.
just because you want a sculpture so you can stare at your butt. That's what you're
No,
saying.
I don't want to stare. No, I don't want to stare at it. I want it to be art that everyone can admire it. Everyone's like, oh, like it's art someday, and someone's like, well, it's a good butt. Yeah, it's a nice butt.
Okay. I would not have
So I
guessed
will
that's
say
your
that.
answer. I would not have guessed that would be your answer.
But here's the thing. Sculpture is like one color, and I do love a good, beautiful painting of like me in like one of my fancy dresses, and it's like teal and purple, and so because of that, I'm gonna go with the painting. Ultimately,
Mm-hmm.
But now I really want your butt sculpture.
thank you.
I got
Thank
too
you.
excited.
I know. Thank you. So I am going to go with the painting, but Dustin, surprisingly, I had to think long and hard about this one. I really did.
I really hope that for your next birthday, you just invite people out, and everybody who shows up, you just hand them like a statue of your butt, like just like just the butt part, like
Right.
right. Yeah. I would not have
Dustin's
guessed.
like, wow, did not.
I would not have guessed that to be your answer, like ever. Nor can I like agree or disagree with a lot of it for fear of getting beat up by one of our significant others.
I've also always got a lot of. Well, I wear skirts a lot. I wear skirts and dresses a lot, so people don't usually see. Like, it's rare to see me in pants.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
All right.
But
All right,
so many butts in this show.
so many. That's true. We had a toilet, a smart toilet too.
So many butts. So many butts.
Yeah.
do we want to move on to question number 2?
Let's do it.
All right.
Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere in the world every 2 months? Don't be trying to go every month, every 2 months. Or would you have unlimited first class tickets? Dustin, what are you thinking here?
I feel like I want to say teleport. I'm going to go with teleport just because I don't get a chance to travel all that much, but I hate traveling. Like, yesterday, Joy and I were talking about the idea of going to New Zealand, and I very much like the idea of going to New Zealand, except I hate the idea of getting to New Zealand. So I may never go there because I never want to commit like a full day of just flying somewhere.
You know what would make it fun for a full day, though?
A statue of
If you were
Heather
in
Butt.
first class.
Yeah.
First class.
Also that.
Yeah.
Also that.
They give those out standard in first class.
That's
okay.
true. That's the secret. You don't know.
Yeah. Actually, I took a first class flight because it was like for 15,000 miles, you can upgrade to first class when I was going from New York to Amsterdam. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like for 15,000 miles, please. And as we were landing, they came by and they offered everyone as a gift a small house that represented a famous house in Amsterdam that was filled with liquor. And I don't know why. So we
That's
still
not where I thought that was going.
yeah. So we still have it in our living room of just like a little house with booze in it.
I need to see this the next time I'm over.
Yeah, please. it was one of the weirdest things that I've like. They're just like here, you know, and I was like, I don't know why you're giving this to me, but I'll take it and I will keep it forever for some reason. So they
you drink the liquor out of the chimney of the house?
yes.
There's also a
Yes,
good
you
question in the chat. So there's a good question in the chat, and I agree this is a great question. If you only have one teleport, do you have to fly back either way, or is the teleport a round trip?
I mean,
It's your question, Megan, so you get to decide.
Teleport once every 2 months.
Yeah.
I love the idea that someone jumps at this and then they're stuck in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Back.
You're saying that it is a one-time.
I'm a literalist.
It's a one-way
one
teleport.
time every 2 months.
Okay.
all right. Then I'm gonna go with first class. Like, of course I'm gonna go with first class. If I get screwed on a technicality, if it was round trip, I'm gonna take teleport. If it's one way, I'm gonna take first class.
Because teleport is like no time elapses, right?
Right. Yeah. You're just there.
Advantage. Yeah. Okay, Heather, what do you think? And maybe for you, because I'm in charge, you can have round trip teleport.
Oh, wait, why do I get punished?
I mean, that changes it a lot.
It's a thought experiment. We're playing here.
I mean,
normally it's chat that turns on me. Now it's Megan. That hurts.
Listen,
Anyway.
Dustin, when you told me that I was the god of this question, that was Dustin's
that was the moment.
Show instruction.
So you wield your power aggressively. I get it. Okay.
Wahaha, tiger pet. Keep going.
So if it is a round trip teleport, then I actually think I would pick that, because how often are you really going to travel? Like, I think 2 months is pretty realistic. Like, oh, I can teleport somewhere once every 2 months. Great. Yes, I guess if you did have unlimited first class tickets, maybe that would like you'd be more willing to go more often, but life is busy. We've all got obligations and lives and stuff. So I think a teleport, if it's going to be a round trip teleport, once every 2 months is great. If it were not, then I would go with the first class tickets. Because
you're getting a round trip teleport, Heather.
All right, then I'm teleporting once every 2 months.
And this universe. I am a bougie bitch, and I would love first class tickets.
Yeah.
I have tasted the first class life. It's hard to go back to Comfort Plus or economy. Really like a good first class.
It's wonderful.
It's so good.
Although this is going to make me sound douchey when I say it, but like because there was a period of time when I was traveling a lot and I would get bumped up from time to time. And then occasionally you get bumped up for like a 2-hour flight between like, you know, like here and, you know, wherever, someplace stupid. And you're like, this isn't a real first class. This is just a bigger seat. Like if I can't lay down, fuck you. Like that's, you know.
I actually work in travel marketing, funny enough. And like there are different levels of first class. And recently this is a deep cut, guys, buckle up. Airport lounges have changed their access rules, where it used to be like any first class, and now it's like you have to have like the upper tier first class to get into the lounge. Wow. So I was just at the airport and people were like, I'm in first class, and they were like, first class to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from New York? That means nothing. Sorry. Back of the line.
I do not envy those employees.
No.
Oh no, it's a tough job. But yeah, it's all about the status, all about that first class seat.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's amazing when you get it. All right. Did we all? So we all answered.
We have.
Yeah, it seems like okay. Which brings us to our final question. Yeah, which is my question. Which is okay.
It's so good.
This one's long, so you know, go with me on this. Would you rather cry uncontrollably every time you thought someone was cute, or would you rather feel like you have hot sauce in your eye every time you thought somebody was stupid? Heather, I'm going to go to you first. Although you've got that look like I've broken you, so should I go to Megan first?
Go to Megan first. I have to wrap my brain around what this even means. Joy is choosing teleport.
Okay.
Joy can get round trip teleport too.
Just me. I'm the only one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this question. I really thought about this, and at first I was gonna say hot sauce when you think someone's stupid, because I rarely think people are stupid. I truly try and see other people's perspective. However, crying when someone's cute, one, that's hilarious, and two, like, crying. I had a good cry yesterday at Kimberly Akimbo the musical. We're not sponsored by Kimberly Akimbo, but we could be if they wanted. And crying is great sometimes, and I think it would be hilarious if someone was like, "Are you okay?" For you to be like, "It's okay. I just think you're cute." Like, that just feels amazing. I'm all for crying when you think someone is cute.
I feel like you would be able to get away with that a lot easier than like I would, though. Like if I tried that, people would be like, "Get out of here." But if you tried that, people like, "Oh, that's a," like, it would make you more endearing.
Yes, I think I'm freaking endearing for sure, but I think there's also something, and this is probably stereotypical and like very gendered, so I apologize, but I think there's something about like a man crying that really snaps you out of it. Like, you're more likely maybe to see a woman cry than a man cry. So I don't know. I think you would get a very generous, positive response, or just shocked. I don't know.
And
then it would be weird if Joy was there and she's like, "Who do you think is cute?"
Yeah, right. I would get caught. And 646 pointing out. This is a
really good point.
Yeah. Would you want to have sex with a guy who was crying like while it was happening?
Right. So if it's like if you happen to think they're cute and it progresses, right? Do you want someone who's crying while you're doing it? And the answer is no.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Although, again, let's point out in terms of sexual differences, if a guy is crying during sex, you're turned off. If a girl is crying during sex, the guy's going to jail. So, like, it is a little bit different. Like, a guy couldn't in this situation, is all I'm saying. So, it's different. But anyway.
All right. That was an interesting... what do you call that in improv? Like A to C? That was an A to C.
Yeah, well, because
definitely an A to C.
Okay, because guys have to be working. If a girl is crying, like you're definitely gonna be like.
Well, what if she's crying because the sex is so good? What if
Right,
they're
it's
happy
so
tears?
good.
Then you have to get it in writing. You have to get like.
Boy.
Right.
All right, Heather.
You
what
have
do
to be
you think?
careful.
I'm taking over the god role.
Okay.
Heather, what do you think?
This is tough because I work I wear contact lenses, so I feel like the hot sauce one is just a nightmare waiting to happen. Because like I don't want to feel like I've got hot sauce in my eyes. My eyes get irritated enough easily, and like, what if I do think someone is stupid? But I also don't like the idea of crying uncontrollably because someone's cute. That's just weird. Then you just become that weird person. And then, like, if you don't tell anyone why you're crying, you're just that weird person that cries all the time. Not that there is anything wrong with crying, but there would be judgment. Like, unfortunately, there is societal judgment that would accompany that. So I think I have to go with hot sauce when stupid. And I have to just live with how miserable that is. The terrible, terrible pain.
Yeah. Okay.
And hopefully I just don't run into a lot of people I think are stupid.
All right.
Hopefully watching like TV doesn't count. Watching news stories.
Yeah, well, I mean,
reading comments on Facebook.
I mean, in that vein, I have to go with the hot sauce thing because to your point, I think to Megan's point earlier of like Joy being like, "Wait, who do you think is cute?" Because I said like many years ago that I thought Jenna Fisher, who plays Pam on The Office was cute. And I hear about that shit to this day because Joy has somehow determined that she is attainable, which I do not believe is true. A, she's married with children and doesn't live near here. But even if it was, that is not a thing that's happening. So, but I mentioned it one time, a long time ago, and I'm still hearing about it. So if I had to, if like basically I cried if I thought somebody was kind of cute, Joy would basically like hit me with a stick a lot. So I don't.
But then you cry more. And now it just becomes a cycle of crying, and you wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know whether or not it was the abuse or it was thinking somebody was cute. So, and again, it's all like to some degree. It also assumes that your significant other is like an immune part of it, because like if you count your significant other, then like you're just crying all the time when you're home. Like,
oh, good call.
That's true.
Like you have to like knock an exception out there, otherwise you can't function as a human being. So,
yeah, that's true.
I think most every dog I see on the sidewalk is cute, and there's a lot of dogs on the sidewalk.
I also thought about that. I was like, what about
cry in public in New York, which is like normal, like no one would bat an eye, but there'd be a lot of crying.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna go with the hot sauce for multiple reasons. So, and that was our last question, guys. That was it. It brings us to the end of our show.
Oh my gosh,
that was super fun. Megan, thank you so much for joining us.
It was cute. You're gonna make me cry.
Megan, where can people find out more about what you got going on?
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram at Sugrue. It's like the first 3 letters of my first name and the last 3 letters of my last name. That.
Yep.
And I perform with the Armory. I'm on an improv team called Detention. It's a lot of fun. Our next show is next Friday, not this Friday, the Friday after, at the Tank at 8 p.m. And it's a lot of fun. Come check it out.
Awesome. And Heather, what do you got coming up?
I didn't tell you this one, Dustin, but
no, I don't
Saturday.
Have it.
No, it's okay. I didn't tell you, and I thought of it way too late. Saturday, we are doing Shot for Shot Les Mis, and it is actually going to be at the Tank, which is exciting. It's at 7:00, and we will be doing Shot for Shot means it is a drunk sing through of the entire musical of Les Mis. And I'm so glad that people who know me for a long time are in this chat because they know it's one of my favorite shows. So we will be doing that, and I will be drunk singing through the role of Javert, and I cannot wait.
Yes!
Cannot wait. I mean, that's also my favorite role, so I am just cannot
Definitely wonder who is Jean Valjean to your Javert?
Emily Claypool.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to see you guys go head to head.
Should be fun.
Fantastic.
Should be fun. Also 1776. Oh, I agree. 1776.
Yeah.
Also a great one. You know what one we're never going to do? Thou Shalt Not. This is this is in chatter now. But come see us. Come see that. And then in a couple weeks, I'm going to be in LA TrekCon, which is a Star Trek convention in Long Island with my musical improv group Red Shirts. So you can follow Red Shirts Musical Improv for info about that. And we have some more shows that we're going to be booking for the summer, which is exciting.
Nice. And if you want to check out what I have going on, you can follow me at DDATO on Instagram. And you can also follow us at Super Important Stuff on Instagram. And I got a show coming up called New Tricks. It's a storytelling show at QED on May 21st at 7:00. I'll be telling a story. The theme of the show is First Prom, which I did not go to. So I have to figure out what story I'm going to tell. So come check that out and figure out what kind of craziness happens. Which brings us to the end of our show. Megan, thank you so much for being a guest. Thank you guys in chat so much for watching and all your crazy comments and wonderful comments and all that. And have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next week. Bye.